Welcome to your favorite channel, a lot of apps. And today we are going to be looking at the feelings of a depressed programmer. What is depression? Depression is a state of the mind when one feels negatively down on oneself or down on your career, your academics, or even life in general. Depression is something that is very common among programmers, and it means those feelings about if you are even actually meant to be a programmer, those moments when we are writing some codes and it's not responding to us, and we often feel like maybe we are not the right people into programming, or maybe that we are not smart enough to be in programming, or often feel that programming is too tough for people like you and I to, kind of fit into the category. So at this moment, we begin to feel low and often begins to feel like maybe programming is actually something meant for people that come from a different space, but it's definitely not. So let me know in the comment box, have you ever felt that way before? Have you ever stayed awake all through the night to debug an omitted semicolon? Trust me, you are not the only one in that category. I have actually been in that situation before. In my case, I even experienced that many times before, and I'm still even experiencing that right now. So don't take it too personal. I want you to just sit back and relax, because I'm going to give you some tips on how to handle depression while programming. So let's start. Okay, tip number 1, recognize the fact that you are going to make some mistakes as you walk up to the computer now to write some code. Mistakes like wrong spellings, missing quotation, and you get all kinds of errors like syntax error, typographical error, and many things like that. Just understand the fact that such exists, and with this type of understanding, you will have to prepare your mind before time to accept it when it happens, so that you don't feel so disappointed whenever it occurs. This will help you handle it whenever it happens. You can't be so surprised because you already know that you will have such disappointment. You have dealt with it before now. You have dealt with that feelings before now. Tip number 2, recognize the fact that some errors will take some time to debug. In my opinion, debugging a program is one of the hardest things to peacefully achieve while writing some code. Having known that it is going to take time will help you prepare your mind when it begins to take your time than you expected. Although some debugging do not take much time, especially if you are using compilers or interpreters that report the specific line of error. In that case, you just debug the error and you move on. So tip number 3. Recognize the fact that programming is really hard and that you are not going to become a professional overnight. Alright? I have seen videos like become a professional programmer in 20 minutes. Those things are just lies. They can't happen in the real world. I know that people can learn real quick, but no matter how fast you can learn, you can't really become a professional just within 20 minutes or become a professional programmer in minutes. It's not going to happen. So I want you to understand that it takes years, in my opinion, to become a pro programmer, but don't let this scare you away. Alright? Learn programming for some months and then start creating some interesting stuff within the level you have covered, and then start advancing yourself from there. So tip number 4, you are going to continue learning even after you become a professional in it. So with this, I want you to understand that programming is a very dynamic field. I mean, almost everything changes from time to time. New and better technologies keep coming out every day. These are upgrading, so there is always new syntaxes to learn. The way they did it 5 years ago now will not be the same way they do it. Tip number 5. You are never going to know it all. Programming is something we always wish we knew it all, but it is practically not possible. You can just learn to the level where you can actually create enough stuff in such a language and you move on. Tip number 6. There is no best language to learn. All the programming languages are as important as the rest, plus the fact that they are created for specific tasks that you can actually handle efficiently. And I included this number because people tend to get stuck with which language or framework to learn when they're actually starting out. See, there is no best language in my opinion. Every language is actually created for a specific task. So what you need to do is, first of all, define the area that you want to venture into. And then from there, you will know which language to learn. Tip number 7. Fall in love with programming. If you don't have passion for programming, you are going to be thrown to the ground again and again, especially when you get greeted with some ugly error messages that some interpreters or compilers throw at us. Be passionate about programming, otherwise you will not last in the industry. Programming is difficult. Alright? Programming is what? Difficult. But you are living. Don't you know that living alone is just difficult? Living is just difficult and you are still living. In that case, if you are still living, then you can become a programmer. That means you can write some program. People are writing programs every day, and those people do not come from a different planet. You can do it too. You can even do it better than they do. Tip number 8. Get inspired to write some code. Go ahead right now and subscribe to channels that inspire you and makes learning easy and fun for you. It necessarily may not be this channel. If this channel does not inspire you or makes learning fun for you, don't subscribe to this channel. But if it does get you inspired and makes learning fun for you, then I say go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. If you have any question or any comment, just leave it at the comment box below. I will respond to them as soon as possible. Thanks for watching, and see you in my next video.